Grab your glue gun and ribbon. It's time to create at the Home Decor Crafters Summit. Enjoy 35 inspiring workshops led by talented speakers. We have amazing giveaways that are happening now. Register today for your chance to win and get your free ticket today. And if you want to keep the workshops, upgrade to the VIP ticket for lifetime and instant access with exclusive bonuses. So grab your glue gun and let's stick together for some crafty fun at the Home Decor Crafters Summit. Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. All right, I'm excited for this. I could talk about Cricuts all day long, or cutting machines, or SVG files, right? If you are just joining us, just finding these lives, I am Shelly from We Can Make That, and I'm the host of this year's Home Decor Crafters Summit, and these are 4 of our awesome speakers that are here with us today to talk about Cricut. And we're just going to dive in, give you guys some tips, give you some tricks. If you have not registered for the summit, we are on day 3. So you're thinking, oh, it's already started, but there is still a ton of sessions, a ton of fun projects, all of that you could dive into. So don't wait. I'm going to drop a link here in the comments. There's also a couple of them in the description, so above or below, whether you're watching on Facebook or Instagram. But we are going to go around and then just kind of introduce ourselves, and then we're going to dive in. So if you ladies want to quickly just jump in and just tell them a little bit about yourself so that they understand kind of your background and what you specialize in. Kelly, do you want to jump in first?
Sure, why not? So hello, everybody. My name is Kelly Rousseau. I'm from Cape Town in South Africa. As you can see, Cricuts are like my specialty. And yes, we have a silhouette over there. I actually used her this afternoon. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I love helping people understand how their Cricut works. So explaining how features work, explaining how to do things. My brain works very much in I need to understand everything. So that's kind of what I try and put forward in my YouTube videos and things like that. So I have a YouTube channel, which is just Kelly Rousseau, and I have hundreds of tutorials and things like that on there that you can watch. And yeah, Cricut is like again, like Shirley said, I can talk about my Cricut all day. So
awesome. Thank you. Miss Carrie, would you like to jump in?
Sure. Hi, I'm Miss Carrie, Miss Carrie's Creations. I do have a bit of a cold we've been fighting, so my voice is kind of froggy today. Sorry about that. I primarily work in paper crafts. So many of my Cricut things are kind of those, how do you create a scrapbook page or combine your Cricut with other paper crafting products you own? I also do what I like to call 5-minute Cricut videos. They're just 5-minute Cricut classes because I'm one that, like, if I need to learn a technique, I want to learn it like right now. And I don't have time for like a whole project. And so I started putting those up on my channel. So like if you just want to learn how to do like one thing, then you just watch this 5-minute video and hopefully you learn it.
I love that because as a crafter, I think a lot of us have a very short attention span sometimes. So awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. And Jav, if you could wake up, it's like 3-something in the morning where she's at. So throw her some hearts for getting out of bed for us.
Now it's 4. Hello, everyone. I am Jav from Cut and Make Crafts, and I am here in Melbourne, Australia, which is why I'm struggling to keep my eyes open because it's 4 a.m. on my side. I teach SVG designing to crafters. I love designing SVGs in Affinity Designer. So any kind of SVG, if you want to learn to design and text SVGs, paper craft SVGs, cards, cake toppers, gift boxes, I'm your go-to person for that. And I love creating party decor projects, especially cake toppers are my favorite, and creating favor boxes. And I'm also doing I have a membership which is right now open for registration. We're going to talk about it later. which is especially for gifts and party crafters. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to share it later in this video, so stay tuned.
Awesome. Yes, her your cake toppers are stunning. I think they make me want to eat more cake, which is not really a problem, but right. Awesome. All right. As you're listening to these ladies, those who are watching, if you have a Cricut, put a comment in the chat. And then if you are looking at getting a Cricut, we would love to hear from you too. But while you guys are commenting, Elena, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi guys, I'm Elena with Black Sheep 303. The full name of my business is Black Sheep 303 Creative, but my website is Black Sheep 303, and a lot of my handles are just Black Sheep 303. Let's see. I am mostly a card maker, paper crafter person, although I do other projects occasionally, like this was my project that you may have seen yesterday for this wonderful summit. I design SVGs. I have tutorials on like how to use your machines, making various projects. As you may be able to see, I have numerous machines here. I probably mostly use the Cricut, but I also know how to use the Scan and Cut and the Silhouette Cameo. So I have tutorials on those on my YouTube channel, which is Black Sheep 303 Crafts. And what else can I say? I've specialized quite a bit in the Joy machine because I like those helping out the people who are stuck with the like little tiny machine. And so I used to have a summit called Create with Cricut Joy. This year, hopefully, I will be doing a card making summit. Yeah, specifically on like SVGs and cards. So we'll see. Hopefully, like look for that in the fall.
Drum roll coming soon. Laptop near you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So many Cricut users in the chat. It's fun. And like the Maker, the Joys, so lots of different machines. All right, let's go in and chat about what do you think? Do you guys have a special tool? Let's start with that. Does anybody have a tool that they want to talk about that they use with their Cricut? All right, Elena, jump in.
Okay, this is kind of dumb, but it's the brayer. And okay, when I first bought this brayer, I thought this is overpriced and I don't need it. And I have to say I've been completely converted because with paper and cardstock, this thing is absolutely amazing. And I encourage everybody to buy it. You don't have to necessarily get the Cricut one, but I think there are knockoff versions like on Amazon. But I love this thing. I think it's amazing, and I use it every time I cut paper and cardstock, so I encourage everyone to get this. You won't think you need it, and then when you start using it, it's a life changer. So
that is
absolutely
so true.
And never mind that, I also recently realized that you can also use it like if you use stamps, and then you have like a big stamp, and then you put the stamp on like the photo polymer clay stamps. You put them on the stamping block. You can use your brayer and go choop, choop, and then it like gives you nice, good adhesion. Or if you're using a stamping mat as well, a stamping
doohickey,
like the Misty.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. One of these. Then you can just roll the brayer over the top there, and then you get nice, easy. So, yeah.
How smart is that? Well. That is super smart.
I know. And I love that all of us as speakers on here find tips from each other as well. That happened the last 2 days. I love it. All right. Does anybody else have a tool? Otherwise, they're special. Okay. While you're thinking, I have one. I'll show you. This.
I can keep going.
Right. I could go on and on all day long.
Do we have tools tomorrow? You'll see these again tomorrow. No.
Yeah. So in the Cricut, there are little trays that you can get. And I have a link. I'll drop it in the comment here in a second. Oh, it's not going to let me take that out. So I'm just going to hold my machine up. She's not really light. But it helps you organize all the stuff that's in there. And they come in a variety of colors. So cute. I'll see if I can do that without dropping her, because that would probably make me cry on a live if I were to drop her on the floor. So that's kind of my tool. I think it's just helped me stay organized because you can end up with a lot of stuff as a Cricut crafter.
I've also got one.
Okay, perfect.
Hold on, let me
Oh, you do?
I can actually just take mine out because there's actually, ironically, nothing in it.
Oh, funny.
There you go.
Ooh, and yours is like rainbow.
Yeah,
that's
I 3D
cute.
printed it myself. So I printed it at
cool.
an angle so that the colors go rainbow
Nice.
That's cute.
like that.
So
Wow.
cool.
It's awesome.
I love it. Anybody have anything else?
I think mine is the scoring stylus because it helps so much with paper crafts. And I just, even though I have this scoring wheel, I just use the scoring stylus because it's such a pain to keep on changing the blade every time I cut it. So this is my go-to.
Yes.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, here's my scoring stylus. I have an adapter on it, that little green piece. So it works in my Joy and my Joy Extra.
There you go.
So yeah, you can buy a pen like a pen adapter and fit the style for the Joy or the Joy Extra and fit the stylus in it, and it works great. Although you can also use, everybody may know this, the foil transfer tool for to score with the Joy and the Joy Extra as well.
Yeah.
So those tools, they put the embossing, the fold lines. There's just a ton of different things you can do with those.
I think also for me, one of my favorite tools, like we were talking about yesterday, is not only just the weeding tool, but it's the quick, what do they call it?
The dentist tool.
Yeah.
No, I mean like the whole thingy, because you can unlock it and then pop out the weeding pen.
Oh, that's that craft knife, isn't it?
Yeah, the True Control weeding kit. There we go. That's what it's called.
It is.
I've not heard one of my favorites either. Sweet.
Oh my word! It's but just don't drop it on the floor. Ask me how I know. Because especially when it comes to the tip of this one, if you drop it on the floor, you might not really be able to see it all that well. But like the very, very tip comes off, breaks off, and then it's not as sharp. So
oh shoot! I never thought of that.
Don't drop it on the floor.
Miss Carrie, do you want to mention your adapters again? What pen adapter do you use?
Oh, like if you're asking me about the stylus?
Yeah.
I got mine on Etsy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's Etsy. And honestly, I'm not sure these are available anymore. It came from, I think the shop was called A Long Journey. But
I have
they had a set that was like, that had like ones for Cricut, ones for Silhouette, ones for different machines and different types of pens. And like this has a C on it. I don't know if you can see that. So that's the Cricut one. But there are a lot of adapters out there, like even ones that are adjustable that you can get now that should work. Like as long as it'll work with Cricut pens, like the bigger pens for the maker and stuff like that, it should work with the stylus. Any pen adapter should work with the stylus too.
Okay. I think I found one. I'm going to drop it in the comments. Adapters, is that what we're calling them?
Yeah.
Like a pen adapter, yeah.
I can't talk and type at the same time, sorry. All right.
So Rara is asking, does that tray fit on the Explorer Air 2? I can check for you because I have one right next to me, or at least the one that I've 3D printed. I would assume that they're both, Shelly, I've seen that yours and mine are probably the same. They probably look the same. So
yeah. And I think there are, when you type in Cricut tray organizer, then it'll have the machines listed with it. So I do believe they make it for all the, all those.
I think I've seen them for the Explore machines, the makers.
Yeah, all the different.
Like both kinds, so.
Okay. Does anyone, now that we've kind of talked about tools, does anyone want to jump in and talk about something else Cricut related? Did you guys have something specific?
I think I wanted to bring up.
We'll get to that question in a second.
Oh, if you
No,
need
go
to
ahead.
answer, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We'll do a bunch of
Okay.
questions at the end. I think that might be easier.
I don't know about all of you, but like the most common question I get asked is like which Cricut machine to buy. And my most common answer is actually more of the on the tech side, just because that's where my brain goes. So I often tell people not to look at like the type of machine first, but to like actually like download the free software first, and play around with it first. Like if you're thinking of getting a Cricut machine, play with the free software first, and see if like you're comfortable in that before you invest in the machine. I think that's like my biggest tip I always share with people, because I mean, Design Space is free to download. You might as well try it first before you invest.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's also important that you got to think about what you want to make with the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you want to just cut paper and vinyl, cardstock and vinyl, then you can get any of the Joys or the Explore machines. But if you want to like engrave and, you know, cut balsa wood and things like that, then you're going to need a bigger, like a more heavy duty machine like the Maker. So that's probably, for me, that's the most important question to ask is like, what do you want to make with it? Or what do you want to learn to make with it?
Right. And I think a lot of people start out with, oh, I just want to make cards, and they get the joy. Yeah. And then they were like, well, now I want to cut vinyl. Now I want to cut faux leather. Now I want to put vinyl in everything. I used to joke, like if the cat holds still, I'm going to put vinyl on them.
I think that's so true. And like the problem, like most of the people that I hear when they buy the Cricut Joy first, very shortly afterwards, they want to upgrade and get a bigger machine. So what I always say when somebody's, you know, looking at buying a machine is stretch your budget as far as it can go within reason. Like Elena was saying, you know, if you know that you're never going to engrave, you're never going to deboss, you're never going to, you know, want to cut balsa wood or, you know, tooling leather or something like that, then you don't need to go for the Maker. But if you're looking at getting the Joy, but you know that if you put in like just a little bit extra to be able to get the Explore, rather try and do that, because to try and recover from buying a second machine is going to take you that much longer to get there, as opposed to just waiting maybe a little bit longer, saving up a little bit more and spending that extra $50 or $100 on the one machine up, as opposed to buying the Joy and then realizing, oh, I actually want to cut bigger things. Because specifically when it comes to size limitations, you're very restricted on the Joy. So I would, if you can, rather maybe go for an Explore, but just really think about what kinds of things you're going to be making and whether you're actually going to be able to put a little bit more in and just get the slightly bigger machine.
I like that. And I think a lot of people end up in the decision fatigue. They don't know what machine to get. So they just kind of sit there and stare at all of them. And I think that's a good way to look at it. So I have the Maker, and then, it's off over here. But then I also have the Joy. And I bought the Joy to take to scrapbooking retreats because I got sick of hauling all the stuff. And then, you know, when I first started, you had to haul all the cartridges. Do you guys remember those too?
Oh yeah,
I remember those. But anyway, so I got the Joy, and I was like, I don't know, I was kind of not totally all in on it, even though I bought it. And then the first time I cut, it cut so fast. Oh, here it is. It cut so fast and it cut so clean. I was surprised. I thought because it was a littler machine, it was going to skip on some of the quality, but you can't change it out. You can't cut the size as the Maker, but otherwise I'm really impressed with the Joys. I think they did a really good job with them as far as the quality of it and then how it cuts. And there was a couple of other ladies at the event that also have Cricuts, and they were all like, I can't believe it does that. And then
never mind the fact
you just pass it around at the scrapbooking retreat.
And put it in a handbag. Like you just put the little thing in your handbag.
Yeah. You can take it with.
I personally love the Joy Extra. That is like my favorite machine. It's a machine I use every day. I love that machine because it's sort of like the best of both worlds. Like it'll cut 8.5 by 12 up to, but it also supports print and cut, which the Joy does not. I mean, I do have a workaround video for that, but it's not easy to do. So if you want to do print and cut, then you get that right off. And if you don't need to cut 12 by 12, which especially if you're like just a card maker, you probably don't. Like I almost never do.
You can trim it down.
It's a great machine for that. I mean, it'll do just about. It does everything I needed to do. I love it.
Yeah.
Do
you have the Joy with you? Do you want to hold them up so people can see the size difference? And then I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Jav?
Yes, I'm planning to get the Joy Extra because I've had my Cricut for like 7 years now, and I just maker, and that's the only Cricut I have. So it's time to get a new one. And my print and cut working ages ago. So
I just got the Joy. I think it's been about 1.5 years now. So there's the Joy. That's the original
Joy. And then I don't think I can hold them up at the same time. And there's the Joy Extra. So let's see. Maybe.
Yeah. So it's really just a little bit wider is all to.
It's just a little wider and it's a little heavier, but not significantly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think the Joy Extra is like 6 pounds and the Joy is 4. So not a huge difference.
Right. So then literally you could do a little bit of exercise, stand up and do a
Yeah,
little
just do
arm curls. Just make sure you
exactly.
So one's bigger than the other.
Just put the Joy Extra in your non-dominant arm, so that one gets a little bit more
so it gets a little stronger.
Arm,
Fitness is our passion, so follow us for more, right?
Yeah.
I just watched on a TikTok that you can stand up and do like 10 squats, and that's something that's going to help.
You could hold your Joy while you're doing your squats.
So you can do that. So sessions today, stand up and do 10 squats. So
I'm going to get very strange looks at the gym tomorrow.
your kids in hand. Funny. All right. Does anybody have a project handy that they want to show? I didn't warn them that I had these questions lined up.
I mean, I was busy with this afternoon, so I can show you
cute, Melina.
what I was busy with. Oh, go ahead.
wow. Pretty.
So this project is coming up for me at the Cricut Craft Fest Summit. So there's a little sneak peek. Hopefully Abby won't be mad I'm doing this. So this is like obviously a shaped edge card.
Yeah.
And it is part of my Cherry Blossom card series that I've kind of accidentally created. So some people may recognize this one, which I made probably a year ago. This was in one of Bet Dow's summits. And then I also have like a sort of branched off on those with a few others. But then this is the latest. And so this is coming up end of February in Cricut Craft Fest.
So cute. I love cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Me too.
I had to show that.
Another one?
Yeah, so is it actually going to be showing backwards on the live stream? I don't know. Anyway,
Nope,
I made Okay, thank heavens. So I like using my journal and things like that to try and help myself get organized. It's actually upside down anyway. That's awkward. Anyway, so I use this. This is printable washi tape. So when they're actually kind of see-through. Well, you can't really see that, but this is just print and cut. I made some nice pretty banners and some labels that I can use in my journal to help keep my life organized and make me not feel like such a failure on a daily basis. And this really helps.
I like the illusion that I'm organized as well.
Yes.
Exactly. It all helps.
Awesome. Lots of fun people jumping on. Sweet. Does anybody else have a project? I have one, but
Not like nearby.
not nearby.
I have more.
Okay, I'm going to show one if you want to run and grab one. I just dusted it. Now there's dust bunnies blowing all over. So I have this. It's kind of hard to tell. I didn't think about that with the reflection, but grateful, thankful, blessed. So I have that on the blog as a SVG. And then this was just a flower that I got at I don't know, Hobby Lobby or something. And then this one is actually just adhesive vinyl, and it's kind of hard to see. I don't know, the paper behind it is actually burlap paper. So it comes with burlap like material on the front, and then it's paper on the back. And this is one of the blog posts that I have over on the website. And then I can change it out. So you can just, it's adhesive vinyl, you can peel it off, but usually what I do is just put a different one, a different design in there, and then I have it pulled up on my wall. It's usually hanging over there. Spot. So depending on where my camera's at, sometimes we can see them. Does anybody have another one?
I want to show some.
Okay.
So this is a tea party gift box that I created for my last summit party and gift crafts. I love how this turned out. There are like
Very good.
wraps for to keep your tea bags, and place to keep your snack, and some candles over here. I got this idea from Pinterest, obviously, and yeah, I just love how this turned out. And you can just snuck it in your bag for picnics and stuff. If you're just going to the park, and just carry it around with you. I just simply love this. I have it on display in my bookcase over there. So just picked it up from there. I shared this last year, but if you join my membership, you can still get the SVG for this and create it yourself. The other one that I really like is this card that I made for the same summit. Absolutely love how this turned out. It's like a 3D layered card.
Very cute.
Yeah, with a little house door on it. And yep, whoops, I just took it up far.
Could you hold up the box, the first one? Could you hold that up again? The camera was a little bit fuzzy, and I wonder if the stream is just a little lagged. Everything's a little bit bitmapped. Maybe when we're done, she could drop it in the Facebook group too. It's kind of hard to see because the image isn't perfectly clear, but.
This is better now.
It's not. Shoot, still fuzzy. For a brief minute when you were showing the card, it cleared up, and I thought maybe we were good, but shoot.
I will post a photo inside the group. So
Okay, that would be great. And then let me see if I have. Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's always fun to see everybody's designs and creations. I'm going to see if I have the Facebook group, and I will drop that here in the chat. So if you're not in the Facebook group for the Home Decor Crafters event, and if you're a registered member, you can jump in there. Did you have something, Kelly? Did you go grab something? No?
It's not a project.
Okay.
But it's still kind of Cricut related.
Cool.
I was trying to, so it's actually the little wheels that you put underneath your Cricut. So you get different kinds. There's this one, and then there's also another one that has only one wheel. Oh, I had it about a second ago, but I prefer these ones because they've got, I think they're like acrylic wheels as opposed to metal ones. And then pretty much the only reason I thought of it is because I have my Explore Air 2 here and I don't actually have wheels on it. So I was trying to push it back and it goes with the mat. But then when I have my maker, you just kind of, it's a little bit loud, but it's just so nice because they just hop onto the bottom of the machine just like that.
Wow.
I actually have 4 of them, as you can see. And I put them right on the edges. Whoop, I've got stuff falling out of my machine. My little thingies there. Just because I have so many machines and I use them all the time, and I like to put them back in their little corners. So when she's out here, it's just easier to just wheel her back. into a spot, and then it's just a lot easier to move them around your space. So that's kind of one of my things that I was thinking about.
That's cool. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll grab a link for you guys and then share it as well, because they're so useful.
Okay. Perfect.
They
Yes.
are.
Yeah, I have the one ball that she was talking about on mine.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that would be
I have
really
spares
good.
here somewhere. I'll find them again. I had them about 12 and a half seconds ago.
Yeah, if you want to share the link, then they can see them that way too.
Yeah, definitely will.
Sweet. All right. Does anybody have any other Cricut tips?
I want to share a tip.
Okay, go for it.
This is especially for beginners and I think some crafters. I want to stress a lot about what quality of SVGs you're using. Keep that in mind when you are buying SVGs, because not every SVG is going to perform well. There are some SVGs that come in very, very bad qualities, and they really tear your material apart. So the best way is to go for established designers. We have lots of designers right here in the summit, and right now in this live session as well. So go for people, buy from people, use SVGs from people who know what they're doing, because there are a lot of bad quality SVGs out there, which will just ruin your entire experience. I think I've had this issue once, but I come across this a lot of times when I host a SVG designing class and stuff like that. And I hear this a lot from the Cricut community, that I bought an SVG and I paid this much amount and it doesn't work. It won't cut properly. It won't load properly and stuff like that. So to avoid all that pain and heartbreak when you buy an SVG, thinking that you're going to have this beautiful project, always go for reputable designers who are who have some background, who have some good reviews and stuff like that when you are working with SVG cut files.
I agree. Everything that she
So
just
true.
said tenfold, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I ran into recently, like I downloaded something, I won't say from where. And when I opened it, like I started working with it and I was like, oh, this is messed up. And I like started fixing it. And I was just like, why did this person do it this way? You know, and this was like somewhere you could have bought it. Like I have a subscription to this place. But it was a little like, oh, did they not test the SVG after they designed it? And they just started selling it. Because I always test mine, because inevitably there's something that goes wrong. Yeah. And it's like, you have to test it to make sure that it's going to cut correctly.
Yeah,
we did laser craft notebooks for a bunch of people for Christmas. And my husband was so proud of himself because I taught him how to use the machine while I went to work. And I said, here's the SVG, just put it in, you know. And I got back and the entire Bible verse was written incorrectly.
Oh.
It was like, he was so proud of himself, but I was just like, oh.
I'm glad you got it done, but that's not right.
Absolutely. And I think also like the SVGs or files that are designed to be used with digital cutting machines. This little beauty, as an example, and she's huge. I showed her in the first day of the live stream, but it took me 2 full days to be able to convert this thing into something that was usable on my Cricut, that wasn't wasting tons and tons and tons of paper. I think their estimate was like 20 or 22 sheets of cardstock. I managed to get it down to 12. Like Should I probably have just, cut it on 20 pieces of cardstock? Yes, because it would have saved me 2 full business days, which, I mean, time, cost versus estimate.
Right.
But I can't bear the waste. So I managed to get it down so much because they just set it up so badly, and it was just not optimal and anything. So it wasn't designed to be used with a Cricut. So that's another thing. Like if you're looking for something that's designed for use with a Cricut, for somebody that has a Cricut background. And I saw somebody, Vanessa was asking, like, how can beginners tell before if they've purchased a bad SVG? Unfortunately, when it comes to that, not a lot of times you'll be able to tell before you buy the SVG, but definitely make sure that you check out the reviews to see if anybody has mentioned that they've actually used it with a Cricut. Check the description to make sure that it's compatible with a Cricut, and maybe look for that specific designer and try and look on the internet, like copy their name and search it in Google to see if they have any other reviews on any other platforms or places where maybe they've showcased their work and things like that, so that you can see that they've actually used that kind of a design with those machines, because that's also another way of telling.
Yeah, I think, and then also making sure that there's an SVG or a DXF file in there, and it's not just JPEGs and PNGs. I think it depends on the image. Like there's some of them that are probably pretty simple if you just need a circle or something basic. But if you're looking for something a little bit, I don't know, more detailed, you definitely want to make sure. And then the SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic.
Yeah.
And
what that means is you can scale it up or down without losing any quality, as opposed to like a JPEG, for example, where once you start scaling it up, it's going to start pixelating out because the resolution may or may not be high enough for you to enlarge the picture. So that's kind of the main difference.
Yes. Okay. Jav, I think your camera is, oh no, it's going fuzzy again. I think your camera is good. I was going to say, hold up your box. Do you still have your project there? It looks like it's not quite greeny right now. Sweet. Okay.
So Deanna asked earlier, sorry, about if Carrie can show the one wheel. So that's what the one wheel caster looks like. It was literally right in front of me. Like literally, if I just took my eyes and pulled them down, then that's where I would have found it. So that's what it looks like, versus the 2 casters, which are just exactly the same, but just 2 caster wheels, just like that. I find that the ones with 2 are maybe a little bit more stable and a little bit quieter than the single ones. So you can pick your poison.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, now we can jump on that mat question. Does somebody want to explain the different mats?
I have a printout I can share in the group. I used to have it on my website, but I don't anymore. But it just walks you through like which works for each. I mean, basically, it's like the stickiness of each mat. Let me pull.
Yeah, that'd be great if you want to drop that in the comments. And really, they're coordinated by colors. So if you
and one tip I would say when it comes to mats, like if you're one who likes to label stuff, I have little labels I put on the front of on the acetate piece, so it reminds me like what it can be used for.
That's good.
I mean, I use the light grip a lot for cardstock a lot. I mean, that's probably the one I go to the most. I even use that for heavy cardstock if it's pretty sticky and pretty new. But if it's not, then I'll go up to the standard grip, the green mat for cardstock. But I find that it's like for 65-pound cardstock, which is what I use probably more than anything else because I have a lot of intricacy on my designs. And so I always suggest that you only cut those pieces of my cards out of that weight of cardstock. On the standard grip mat, if it's a new mat, that can almost be too sticky for that lighter weight of paper, and it can rip the paper. Now, it kind of depends on the mat. you know, and how often you've used it. There you go. Shelly's showing the different colors. And then I use vinyl. I've used it with both the light blue and the green, but I think probably green generally is easier with, especially with heat transfer vinyl, which is often thicker, especially like glitter and, you know, holographic and stuff like that. And then the purple one, I have not used it that much, but I use that for like chipboard, wood veneer. What's other stuff I've cut?
Yeah.
Balsa wood all requires like that heavier stuff, or if you're gonna like engrave something.
I also use my purple grip for stencils because my stencils have a habit of like the little pieces pop loose and then they get stuck underneath the blade. And then by the time I've realized there's an entire section of the thing that hasn't cut properly because there's a little piece stuck under the blade. So I like to use it for that as well, even if it's a kind of a thinnish stencil.
I think that's something to think about for like if you're cutting a really intricate design out of any material, make sure that your mat is sticky all the way across. Like I've run into this problem with my designs because a lot of them are very intricate, that if it's like I'll have mats that I use and use and use and use and use. And sometimes I just tape down the outer edges of the paper or something. And I'm like, oh, that's good enough. But then if it starts lifting up off the mat as it's being cut, yeah, it'll catch on the blade and the blade just tears the whole thing. So that's where an entirely sticky mat is very important.
Yeah.
So
I
true.
agree.
So true.
And it feels like, well, I'm going to save money and I'm going to like milk every last stickiness I can out of this mat.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start taping the products to the mat so that I can like, and eventually it just ends up ruining your
Well, you can restick your mats.
product. Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I do.
Do you?
I restick my mats like crazy.
Oh, I've never
Yeah.
found that they really hold up as well. But usually I find them really discounted on Amazon when I just buy a bulk pack of them.
Viable. Yep.
I
Yeah.
use my mats till they break.
Me too.
Right. Yeah, they're not pretty. They're not really photo worthy if you've seen. They have more cat hair and dust on them than my dresser. Yeah, somebody said, I use mine until they crack. I have the dark pink Cricut Explorer, but now I want to get the Maker and the Joy. How many different kinds are there? I believe that's it. So there's two Joys.
The Venture,
Yeah, oh, and the Venture.
the huge
Yeah.
Venture,
The
the
oversized.
Maker, the Explore series, the Joy series. So there's two Joy machines, and that's it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So there's seven in total.
Because you
They
got
don't have all the colors like they used to. Like
Yeah.
if she's wondering if they have more colors, they don't put out all the pretty colors anymore, which
No.
stinks.
unfortunately.
Right? Which is good because then it made me want new machines just to get the new colors.
I know. What? I want the green one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking of
I
buying.
did. I think the link for the mats got put in there. So if anybody wanted those.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I saw. She had the Dropbox link so you guys could download those. Now, if somebody was looking at getting a heat press, which size do you think is best? I think it depends on what you're going to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go big or
Kind
go
of
home.
depends on what you want to make. I mean, you know, if you want to make T-shirts, you're gonna need a bigger one, obviously. Like I would say 9x9 minimum. I have the really big one, and I don't know if that one's necessary. That one's almost like too big. I don't use it that often because I do more small projects. But I mean, I think 9x9 is a good middle ground. The small one, like the mini one, I'll use that for like really tiny things. But honestly, I don't love that one as much as I like the flat, just where you press it
I
on.
use my mini more than I use my big one.
Oh.
But I think I
Me
do
too.
more. I do more like wood and felt and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think the mini I can control the heat a little bit more. I think, but yeah. Now I would
think it
say
also
like if
depends
you're
on-
going to do sublimation, you definitely want like pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It also depends on what you want to do because if you're
Yeah.
going to be doing sublimation and if you're going to be selling your t-shirts, you absolutely should have a clamshell press. You should not have
Yeah,
a
agree.
handheld press. And then those ones, they come in 38 centimeters, which is 18 inches, I think. So yeah, I think it's an 18 by 18 inch press, which is kind of the standard size that a lot of people use for sublimation and, you know, like t-shirts and things like that. Because like we said, then you can control the pressure. Or I know that HTV Ront also has an auto press that you can now adjust the pressure. I have not used it, so I have no idea what it's like. Is that the adjustable pressure one?
Yeah, it does have a thing that you can adjust the pressure, but I think they have a new one that's a little bit more automatic.
Mm.
Yeah, I have the old one where you can't adjust the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't love that one as much, just because as much as a clamshell, because you can't. The gap is like this, you know, maybe when you open it to pull, so you have to pull the thing out, and then you have to to get it off. It can be tricky with the plate still being hot and stuff, like, especially if you've like pulled it over the plate. So
I haven't noticed that with mine, because I was worried when I got it that I would want, I don't know, more leeway in there, but I haven't noticed anything, and I like how compact and light it is. Like, it's not very heavy. You could literally pick it up and move it around.
That's true.
Pretty simply. Does anybody have designs in Design Space?
No.
Yeah, the problem with sharing designs on your Design Space profile is you have to create the design 100% within Cricut Design Space in order for it to be shared across Design Space.
Yeah.
If you create it in a different program and upload anything into design, like I'm talking fonts, anything like that. If you just upload a circle, then you can't share the project, which means other people can't use it. And most of us, I think, would probably create our designs in a different program. Maybe some people are super awesome and go and do double the work and create in Design Space as well. But I'm not super awesome, so I don't do that.
I think Design Space than somewhere else.
Yeah, I think maybe she meant, or is anybody in Design Space as a designer? Because they have designer shops.
Mm.
Are you guys in there?
Not me.
Are you in there, Jav? No.
Not
I
good
was
enough.
there. I have some designs, I think, because when I was working with Cricut, I created some designs for them. So I haven't gone back and checked on that. It's been ages, like 2 years. So
We should check this out and see if you're famous over there. That's funny. Okay, so now I have one more question, and I think there'll be a lot of people on here. So if your Cricut is sitting close to you or not close to you, and it is dusty, or it's still in the box, we're watching you. So yeah, I think there's probably a tip that everybody could probably jump in and give one. I think for me, it's a lot of people are just really apprehensive about ruining a product or messing it up. And just grab some scratch paper, go to the dollar store and get, a jar or a sign, and just start playing with it. You're not going to break it. I mean, maybe if you drop it on the floor, like I was trying to do earlier, but really you pull it out and you start cutting things. Everybody wastes paper. Everybody cuts something wrong. Everybody puts vinyl in, forgets to mirror it, or puts it the wrong side up. Like, it happens to everybody. And just knowing that that's part of the game, I think is my number one tip. But do you guys have anything that you think would be a good Jav?
I just wanted to answer one of the questions that Helen Hill had. Where can I go and learn about how to sell my designs? Perfect question, perfect timing. I have my membership open right now that you can sign up for and learn to design and sell SVG cut files. I've been teaching this since 2019. And I have had so many students have multiple success with my program on how to sell their designs on Etsy, on design bundles. One of my students was even rated as top 10 designers in the UK by Cricut, and she also was featured in design on the front website of Design Bundles. So my membership is open right now until Sunday, 2nd of February. and you can sign up for a $14.99. And if you can also get a free trial version for 3 days. So if you're interested, you can jump onto the link right now. It's cutandmakecrafts.com/GPC. And the other question there was how to make your mat sticky again. So I use a two-way zig glue. I think somebody mentioned that as well in the comment section. It's a Japanese glue. You just stick it, you just wash your mat and then you rub the glue on your mat, and it's going to get sticky, and you can use it for quite some time. So I hope that was helpful.
Yes, thank you. And I have heard many good things. I have peeked at the background of your course when we first started chatting together. So if you are looking at learning how to make them, she does a great job. It looks like Elena's.
This is the Zig 2A glue pen that I use. So it's like really fat. What do I use? That's what I use to restick my mats. I use the same thing, Zig 2A glue. So it's 2A glue because when you first put it down, it's blue. And so then it's, it's not permanent. But if you wait, it'll dry clear and then it's permanent. So I wait and let it dry clear. Or wait, is it the opposite? It's the opposite, sorry. So when it's blue, it's permanent. When it's clear, it's restickable. So you wait for it to dry so it turns clear, and that's how I restick my mats. I put like painter's tape around the edges, so you just have the grit exposed, and then you just run this over it. I have videos on it, on how to do it, on my YouTube channel, if that helps.
Sweet, thank you. We got to save the mats so we can buy more paper and vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody was talking about before. Shelly, what were you saying? Because I had a comment about that.
If your Cricut's still in the box, or if you're afraid to get started, what kind of tips would you give a newbie?
Yeah, I mean, sort of similar to that. Like I think that you generally, as a crafter, you have to learn to let yourself go and like play and just be willing to make mistakes, because you're gonna make mistakes, and you might as well accept that that's part of the learning process, because how else are you going to get better? Like if you don't make a mistake and realize, oh, I shouldn't do it that way or whatever. And so with your machine, I know people are very like afraid that they're going to make a mistake, they're going to mess stuff up, but like just go out and buy, like what you were saying, like go to the dollar store, go to like the clearance section of your local craft store and buy some like cheap, ugly vinyl or something if you want to make vinyl projects, and just do some test cuts. And that way you haven't like invested in like really nice vinyl that you're going to be mad when you screw it up. Right. And you know a little bit what you're doing. And it also kind of gives you the freedom to not care as much if it gets messed up.
Takes that pressure off. Yeah. This is a sign that they have at Hobby Lobby, and it was like $1 something in clearance. And it had like a little initial. And then I just used printable canvas paper with my SVG and put that over the top. So it became like a less than $2 sign. Well, maybe $2 with the paper, but it, just scrounge. Even garage sales, you can find some fun things to decorate. And if you want to try glass etching, just save a pickle jar and wash it and then test it out. So did anybody else have a tip?
I know that my Cricut library has like a lot of beginner projects. I tell people to start there, because some of those are like, pick a beginner project in that Cricut learning library and go for it.
Yeah. It's just, you have to do. We don't learn by thinking, we learn by doing. Unfortunately. What was yours, Kelly?
Mine is kind of like a twofold. Like number one, like everybody was saying, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I always call that school fees. Because if you think about it, when you're learning something new, you're going to go to a class most of the time, or you're going to pay for tutorship. So you're paying fees in order to go and learn the thing. But if you're learning it by yourself and you don't have anybody teaching you and you make a mistake, that is the kind of equivalent of paying for a class. You're paying school fees in order to learn the thing. So it's totally normal to make mistakes. Like they say, how does the saying go again? The master has failed more than the student has ever even tried, or something like that. I can't remember. I'm probably butchering that, but the sentiment is exactly the same. Like we make mistakes all the time. It's totally normal. Pay school fees. And when it comes to crafting with your Cricut and things like that, my biggest tip that I can give you is do your test cuts. It jars me to the bone every time somebody says no, don't do any test cuts, just cut the whole. I'm just like, huh? No. Do your test cuts, because you don't want to like waste a whole page of cutting something and then you either it's cut too deep or it's cut too light or something like that. And that's kind of what I like to do for mine. And then I also have a way of, like recording your test cut settings. So I have an entire system where you can record exactly the test cut the name that you have. So you have the material name, the material type. You can, this is a bad example, this exact specific one. Let me show you the next one. But I've actually written down like everything on it. So my handwriting is awful. I could have been a doctor, but no. So like you have the date that I bought it, the material name, where I bought it from, how much I paid, what type it is, how many pages I've used, the kiss cut settings. And we've got the printer settings, because this is specifically for printable material for a supplier in South Africa. So you guys won't have this supplier, but this is an entire system that I've actually developed to help you create this. And I've also given you tabs and things like that. So you've got glossy vinyl, and then in my folder, my file folder, I have all my printable materials. You have matte, label paper, holographic.
Look at you.
Not focusing. I think it's seeing the unicorn and it's focusing. That's not an eye. But there we go. So it's got the matte label paper, and they're double-sided, so you can see the labels from the other side as well. And then it's got another labeling system for different kinds of materials. So if you have, I gotta hide my eyes again, but then I can't see what's on the page. So so it's got printer settings and laminate settings. So if you have a paper that you need to use, like a cold laminate on or something like that, it's got a section, a different label section for that. And that's my printable materials organization system. But it's not just for printable materials. I've also added in an adaptation to be able to use for cardstock, vinyl, HTV. So you can keep note of all of your cut settings so that you never have to mess up a cut setting again. Once you've got the right setting, you just note it down and it's there. Then you can just refer back to it every time you use it. And that thing has really changed the game for me, because I have ADHD and I constantly forget things all the time, and I never remember like where I've put things and what setting I used for this one. So that's really helped me keep everything organized. And I do have 25% off for the Home Decor Summit, and then also 50% off if you have a VIP pass as well. So, and that you'll be able to access through the system. So that system itself has really helped me. I also take you like step by step on how to make cut settings, because figure out the actual cut settings. It's like a whole, it's a super easy system. I love it. I could talk about it for days, but I'm going to shut up now.
I think it's awesome. And I think we're all a little bit humbled by your like organization.
I know. We're like, this, I'm not organized.
You're like, wow.
I might have to step up my game a little.
That sticker is so cool. I love that sticker that you created with all the details. Oh my gosh. And I love that how you have it all in your folder. That is so well organized. And I'm gonna steal that idea from you. And I really want to know where to get the labels from on your website.
So the labels,
that was the link that's in the chat. And then there's a coupon.
Those ones.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's all the labels and the whole system. So it's a whole organization system. Number one, I show you how to organize things. Number two, I show you how to do your test cuts. And then number three, how to label all of your things. And there's like tons of different label options and everything. So they're actually only for the Cricut at the moment. I am working. I say I'm working on it. I developed it like a couple of months ago, but I have thought about doing one for the Cameo because I have a Cameo as well. So I do want to do one for a Cameo option as well. So if you have a Cricut and you buy the system, what I will do is I will include that in the system, and then I'll do it as an update. And then everybody that has bought the system already will then get a notification that there's been an updated, and then they'll automatically get the Cameo option as well.
That's awesome.
I actually have a PDF that you can purchase that gives you cut settings for like every material, for Cameo, Curio, Scan and Cut DX machines, as well as Cricut machines. The Cricut ones probably need to be updated, I'll be honest, but the Cameo and the Scan and Cut one settings are all in there. And that's if you sign up for my website or my email list using my like lead magnet at the top of my website, you'll automatically be directed to that after you register.
Awesome. And then do you want to touch, while you're live here, do you want to touch on some of the events that you have coming up? We have your link here for events.
I do a lot of summits. So I've got Cricut Craft Fest is my next one that's coming. That'll start. You'll be able to sign up for that as of Monday. I have a crafty events page on my website that lists everything. It also shows like Nick, the bearded housewife, is a buddy of mine, and so his events are usually on there, as well as anything that Card Makers Success Summit does. I have links for them, as well as Jamila's summit that's coming up. She's got a Crafty Business Summit coming up. I'm not part of that one, but there is a link there as well. I'll be doing stress-free card making in March. That's Justine Hovey and Laurel Beard put that one on, where we use 5 items or less to create a card, 5 supplies or less. Then I've got Cricut Crafting Adventure. That's coming up in April. Cricut Card Maker Success Summit is coming up in March. Here's my card. I've got a pop-up Father's Day card for the that folds down flat for the Card Maker Success Summit.
Cute.
Those are the ones I know of at this point. They're not all on the events page yet because we have to wait till the promo period starts. So yeah. Craft Fest will be up on Monday.
Coming to a screen near you. Yeah. All right, Carrie, what do you have coming up?
Oh,
or do you have
I
something?
kind of backed off. I backed off summits for a little bit. My husband and I took on full-time missions, and so we've added more states. So we've traveled more. So I kind of had to adjust my schedule. But I am an instructor for SBC Fest that's coming up in March.
And what is that?
It's through scrapbook.com. Let me put the link in here real quick. It's not Cricut related, it's paper crafting related, but it's a full day of classes on the scrapbook.com YouTube channel. And I'll be joining some other instructors for that. So I'm excited about that one.
Nice. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
You're muted, Shelly, I think.
Oh, Shelly, you're muted.
You can't read my lips? Come on, guys. But now y'all know what I'm saying? Okay, so Carrie, I think you said that you have on your YouTube channel some paper craft tutorials, Cricut tutorials as well, right?
Yes. So I mean, like I said, mainly paper crafting. I mean, I started teaching Cricut way before Design Space even like showed up. Yeah, I remember toting, millions of cartridges. But so paper crafting was kind of where I started. And so I like to show people, like, you always get those fun cut files with a scrapbook kit, or like maybe you want to create your own, pop-up card in Cricut Design Space. So I like to show people, how do you take what's in a scoreboard and put it into Cricut, or how, so that's kind of where my realm goes. So I do, I have quite a few different tutorials like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. I'm excited. I'm always ready to talk about crafting and Cricuts and all of that. This year with the Home Decor Crafters Summit, we also have, I have an SVG club, so it gives you access to all the SVGs on my website. And if you are a registered member, you get $40 off. So we have a link here. I will put that with, and then you can find a coupon for that over on the website. And if you sign up, you get access to all the SVGs in the shop for a year. And then also anything new that we add, you also have access to, and you can go back and find them in your dashboard. That's included over there. But when you renew, you also get that $40 off. So as long as you stay a member, that discount will stay with you the whole time. So I want to say thanks to the ladies who have jumped on here with me today. And if you guys have any questions about the summit, make sure you reach out to us at hello@wecanmakethat.me and we can help you with that. But really, if you are a free member or a VIP member, you should have gotten an email. We have sent you an email. So as long as our emails are talking to each other. And then just to reiterate again, when you get that email, it'll either take you to the main page or it'll take you to the daily page. And the daily page has the watch links. The main page has everything about it. And if you're not sure where to go or whatnot, just go to the very top of the summit page and click on the menu bar. The giveaways are in there. Meet the speakers. So if you missed any links and you want to connect with anybody on any of the lives, they're all linked through there as well. All right. Well, thanks, ladies.
Can I
Thank
quickly
you so much for having
talk
us.
about my event? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say, Jav?
I was saying I have some events coming up that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So right now, I've just opened my membership, which is Gifts and Party Craftpreneurs membership for Cricut paper crafters who want to make party and gift stuff. The membership is open right now for registration, and you can you can try it out for free if you go to the link, which is cutandmakecrafts.com/GPC. And a very special event coming up in March. And it's a very personal event for me because lately last year was crazy for me due to mental health. And it has really pushed me to get on top of my mental health. And this year, to stay true to that, I am hosting a Cricut Craft Summit, which will help you explore your mental health and take care of your mental health through crafting, through Cricut crafting. So if you're interested, be sure to check out my Instagram or my blog for the announcement. The tickets are going to go live in end of February or beginning of March. So if you want to improve your mental health through Cricut crafting, be sure to join me.
Awesome. I bet that will be a very fun event. And sometimes crafting, let's be honest, can also add a little bit of stress. But once that paper cuts or that vinyl cuts good or weeds perfectly, then we're all happy again, right?
It takes your mind off of other stress that you
Right.
might have going on in your life.
Exactly.
Distracts you.
Yes, you're just going to compartmentalize all of that, right? Okay. Well, thanks, ladies. And we will be back here live over on my YouTube channel at 12:30. So we have just a little bit of time to run and grab something. I'm going to grab a quick bite for lunch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about organizing our craft supplies. So I just want to say the more organized you are, the more room you have for more. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
And if you have a small space, it's very important.
It's very important because otherwise it will cause you stress. But that starts at 12:30 Central Time. And then we have a coffee chat with a few other speakers this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Time. So the replays are all available on my YouTube channel. And if you do not have your free ticket, you can still grab that for the Home Decor Crafter Summit. But again, ladies, I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate you joining me here today.
Thank you,
I had so
Shelley.
much fun.
Thanks,
It was
everybody,
great.
for stopping by.
Yeah. Bye, guys.